Typically, I'm not big on SUV vehicles because in most cases, they're not very sporty and they're not very utility. And they sort of remind me of like a modern day minivan on steroids. But behind me is the Jaguar I-Pace S, and you have to admit, it's surprisingly stunning, and it's 100% electric. The Jaguar I-Pace S. It's beautiful, elegant. They've taken the lines of their prestigious sports cars and grafted them into an SUV. And yes, I can tell you about the 90 kilowatt battery with a driving range of 234 miles, or that it has 51 inches of cubic storage space with the seats down, and even has adjustable ride height. But what I want to know is, what is it like to drive? One of the first things you'll notice when you get into the I-Pace are the LCD screens. There's several of them. The main one is for all of your media, navigation, controls, and it's easy to use with the user experience of just swiping left or right like an iPad. The second is my favorite, which are the climate controls, which are just below. They have a very nice integration of LCD screens and touch capabilities built into the knobs, and it's a very high-tech system, whereas features such as if somebody is sitting next to me, it recognizes that. And if they're not sitting there, it redirects all the air towards me. And the third is the digital display, which is your console for driving. It's fully customizable, where you can have a screen on either side of the display, whether you want your battery range, whether you want your navigation, your media, anything else. It's all up to you. The drivetrain is dubbed as the EV400, which is comprised of two electric motors bolted to the transaxle, one up front and one in the rear, which makes it all-wheel drive. Now combined, they have a horsepower rating of around 394, which doesn't seem like much for an electric vehicle, but when you pair that with 512 foot-pounds of torque, that's when things get real. Now, you have to keep in mind, this vehicle weighs 4,700 pounds, which is a lot. But the I-Pace will cut a 0 to 60 time in around 4.5 seconds, and it tops out at 124 miles per hour. So there are two modes of driving with the I-Pace. You have standard, and then you have dynamic. When you switch into dynamic is when all the fun things start to happen, the torque. And that's one of the things that we love about electric vehicles, is that instant torque. So let's see what we have. Dynamic mode's confirmed. Let's do it. Pedal is to the metal! Wow, we're already doing 95. That's in a 35 mile per hour zone. That's probably not good. That's what you live for in an electric vehicle. You live for the torque because it's just, it's instant. The front end's picking up. It doesn't have a lot of steer to it. It's just straight and it's linear. That it just pulls constantly. There's no shifting going on, no delays. You're just boom, gone. All right, let's try that again. Man, it has some torque. As far as handling, the I-Pace is just on it. I'm cutting through here about 75 miles per hour. Probably shouldn't. Man, it's just... The handling is surprisingly well. It doesn't feel like the car is very top heavy. It doesn't feel like there's a serious amount of understeer. And the has a little bit of oversteer, but not too bad. Man, I tell you what. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Overall, this car has a lot of good qualities. It has a lot of Jaguar qualities. The finish is very nice. The LCD screens are beautiful. The displays are nice and bright. The viewpoints are good. I mean, it's nothing that you would expect less than a Jaguar as far as the quality of the car. There is a little bit of sound and interior noise coming through. I can hear a little bit of drivetrain noise coming through, very subtly, but not anything that's overbearing. When thinking about the I-Pace overall, you have to ask yourself, does it have the sportiness of an SUV? Yes. Does it have the utility of an SUV? Not so much. Does it feel and drive like an electric vehicle? For the most part. But one thing about the I-Pace is for certain is that it has character, and most importantly, it has style. Style that is uniquely Jaguar.